Hello, welcome to the SC Playbook podcast, head of NRL Supercoach round 23, proudly brought to you by Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams, and ladies and gentlemen, head-to-head finals have arrived. The business end of the Supercoach season is here. Plenty of you will be left with your tail between your legs. You didn't make finals. The season's done, and that's all right. Maybe you focus on one of your other leagues out there, one of your less preferential leagues, or you go back to the overall race, whatever that might be, trying to get a good ranking. Here to talk through it with us, as always. Well, he was actually off last week, and I've had to go into his house to the deepest, darkest dungeon and corner to bring him out of it. Supercoach Spy. Spy, how are you, mate?
Not going that well, but not necessarily Supercoach-wise. Just the whole family's been crook as dogs, so very, very slow week in Cassida Williams. And the Supercoach boys aren't going that much better themselves, to be honest. I think they picked up some man flu as well. Because, fell back after 18 weeks runnings with green arrows or whatever it was. I've had 3 weeks of red, that's how it goes. That's what happens. So.
It's the great level of Supercoach, isn't it? Just when you think you cannot do a thing wrong, it just all hits in one go, doesn't it, Spy?
I'm like, everyone's like, you can't do anything wrong. I'm like, you wait.
Oh, I can.
It'll
trust
happen.
me.
Don't you worry. Nothing overly dramatic though. I've just dropped I got to 185 or something a few weeks ago, so I'm in the 690s at the moment, which is disappointing. I really wanted to have a good crack at top 100, which I'm not that far off still, but with injuries hitting, it might make it tricky, but we'll see what happens. We'll stay alive in the hunt and see where we can land.
Yeah, absolutely. Also with us today, back on the podcast for the first time in a while, absolutely out of hiding. People were getting concerned about his welfare, where he was. Had there been a blue between you and I? He's not. He's back. 2019 champion, Dezzy Creek. Dezzy, good to have you back, mate.
Good to be back. It's been a couple months. I think I'm still about the same ranking as I was when I left the show. So about 3,700 around there. Just have not been able to make any headway at all. It's just been one of those seasons. You can't stay up the way I was staying up over the last 4 or 5 years.
Jeez, you're not going that bad, mate.
Well, I've only got 2 trades left now, so the focus is kind of moved to head-to-head. Normally I'd never focus on head-to-head, but I'm alive in a couple cashies. And in overall, the best I could probably do with 2 trades left from here is top 2,000, which is still, it's a good ranking, but my standards are higher than that, you know that.
Dezzy aims for more.
Yeah. Just haven't got it right. Haven't got my captains right. And the nail in the coffin really is just not having Farnworth. He's been the devil. He's been the thorn in my side this year. Finally, someone's gunned him down for us.
Have you seen anything like that? On that, when was it, the Friday evening, and sitting on the lounge, a wet night down in the Illawarra and pouring down across all of Sydney, actually. And I always make a point of, my life revolves around Supercoach and don't let it impact moods. But there are just times, Spy, where something goes so horribly wrong that it's just very hard to. And my partner said, "Oh, why are you upset?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just getting absolutely hit from pillar to post by this one good-looking English dude." And then she goes, "Don't let it impact your mood. Don't let it impact your mood." I'm like, I know, number one rule. And then he had that line break. He's 30 in about 15 minutes against the Warriors, on track. He was on track for the best CT dub score in Supercoach history. They could not tackle the bloke, and they were clean powerhouse line breaks as well, not shitty like tip-ons, beating him on the edge.
Did it all himself.
Hammy went, and I say this with the greatest respects, as Supercoaches would know, Spy, it's nothing personal, but breathed a sigh of relief from a Supercoach perspective. A big moment for the round.
Yeah, well, I had the VC on him with many others, and we were staring at 200 almost. You can't say a certainty because teams can figure blokes out, but he was just toying with them. Absolutely toying with them. If he didn't do his hammer, he also passes to hammer, so that's another 12. So he's basically mid-80s, early to mid-80s, 19 minutes in. Hadn't even done his tackle busting and offloads yet, just his accumulation stuff. Everyone, apart from you boys, had him, so I was like, it's not.
It doesn't actually matter that much.
But I was like, so curious to see what he's going to get. Could he 200? Could he 280 at centre? It was pretty remarkable. It was just a pleasure to watch him, to be honest. I like watching the Finns, so I was sad in that regard.
Oh, mate, for what it's worth, when you put Supercoach to the side, it was one of those perfect Supercoach again, I say this with the most respects to Herbie, the perfect Supercoach injuries where it's just like a month thing where people have to trade him or get rid of him where it is. But hopefully the Dolphins can make a charge of the finals. Herbie comes back for finals, kills it there when Supercoach is done for the overall season. I can enjoy Herbie like everyone else has been able to. We do hope Herbie gets back on the deck for the end of season, and certainly if the Dolphins can make a run to the finals. Matty the Water Boy. Sweet.
You're good.
Matty the Water Boy, he is sick as a dog. There's a few sick members on this panel tonight, so I'm 1,000,000 to 1 to come out of it healthy. But for the Cooma Stallions, might run into family a bit, Spy. We might not be wet trackers because my boys just couldn't get through the rain in Sydney over the weekend. Had a few absolute stinking performances. Started the weekend pretty well, especially when Herbie played out as did, because I thought that was going to be weekend done on Friday night. 1,183 points, so I dropped a few spots, not as bad as I thought it was going to be, to 2,200th overall. So 6 trades in the bank. How many do you have, Spy?
4.
4 to go. How you feeling?
I'm like a mix now. I'm like happy enough, but kind of like what Dezzy said, when you've suddenly set your target at top 50, top 100, and you're back to 600, you're like, oh, bugger. But feeling all right. And I
You can
think
still do it.
if I dropped out of the top 1,000, I'll be filthy. I'm just putting it out there. That is not allowed to happen. So
Yeah.
top 1,000 at the minimum, but I always figure I have a goal each year. I'm like, top 500's a good year. I think it's a really one you can pencil away as a win. And I think it'd give me maybe 4 or 5 top 500s. So that's the target now. But gee, also Maxi Bryden's in front of me and I want to run him down. So coming at you, son.
Maxi's using his last trade this week, so
It's on.
very bullish last week, Maxi Bride, and all of a sudden he's lost Herbie and things are getting a little nervy for him. So, Dezzy, it's one of them seasons where, as it is appearing at the moment, shit has hit the fan and it's not looking like slowing down injuries wise. The overall rankings could be turned on their head in the back end of the season.
Yeah, I had a quick look at the top 10. They were all very, very bunched. Considering the season we've had, I think the top 3 were within 20 points of one another, which is just absurd. So yeah, it's still up for grabs, the title.
Yeah.
It's going to be down to who makes the right trades, the right sit versus starts, and the right captains.
And that's the thing, mate. Like with all the injuries that are happening, we normally get to this point of the season where there's too many sit v starts and it's a headache. But with all the injuries, I'm finding I don't have that many sit v starts to work on. So anyway, if you've saved a few trades for the back end of the season, particularly head-to-head players there for your head-to-head finals, you'll be sitting pretty for those clashes. Now, on today's show, Team List Tuesday, Supercoach pointers. Tommy Turbo returns at fullback for Manly with a dream run home starting next week. A topic for today's show, we're going to be looking at the run home point of difference players, the sub 20% owned players to differentiate your team from rivals. We're also going to have a bit of a focus on CT dubs there, looking at Herbie Farnworth replacements and also one-to-week plays for those in head-to-head finals who are desperate for a win. Hot topics for today's show. One of those players will be Dane Gagai. Is he the number 1 replacement for Herbie Farnworth? We'll drop our round 23 trades, sit v starts and skipper plans. Listener questions for the show to wrap it up. Looking at Stephen Crichton, potentially in his new hybrid role at the Doggies, if he's an option there. But guys, before we get into it, our first ever merch drop at SC Playbook is here. These fresh tees, they're going on sale next Wednesday, 6 p.m, the 13th of August. There is limited stock available with these ones. That store is located on our site at scplaybook.com.au in the menu. We've been working on these designs behind the scenes for a long, long time to get them up and about. They're high quality material, comfy as anything. They come in both navy blue and, as you can see, the Spy wrapping over there, the white. Thoughts, Spy? Good stuff?
Bloody comfy for a start, which is a win. Good fit, good brand. Don't know who this mob are, but I say am I right. So, I'm a fan.
Thanks,
I'm
mate.
picky as, so you know if I'm wearing it, I'm going.
You are picky as with your T-shirt, believe it or not. So, no, good sell there, mate. So, guys, if you'd like to support the site, you can grab yours for just $39.99, not including postage, next Wednesday, August 13 at 6 p.m. at scplaybook.com.au. And just lastly, guys, all happening in the world of Supercoach. English Premier League Supercoach is here. Very excited to announce that SC Playbook has its newest branch, now covering EPL content for the upcoming season. It's a brand new Playbook team, all the same content though. With the sudden announcement, we've been in overdrive, scouring the talent to find the best the best of the best to deliver that content to you. The opening podcast, that'll be out shortly, which will drop in studio every single EPL match week. The first of our articles are up on site at scplaybook.com.au. Go and follow us for all our content on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at SC Playbook EPL. All right, unlimited league leader, Momax, coached by Jake. He's regained the lead. He's into first overall and flying. Big Nuts, coached also by Jake, topped the week with 1,466 points. Also moved to 1,460th overall. So there you go. And lastly, a shout out to Lauren from the SC Playbook subscriber group. New to Supercoach this year for the first time. Finished 30th overall last week. She's jumped 16,000 spots in just 3 weeks and doing great things as a member of our community there. All right, boys, team list Tuesday. Spy Xavier Willison out for the Broncos. Payne Haas returns. Now, there's a lot of people out there this week, Spy, running without a front rower because Terrell May, owned by essentially everyone, is out with the bye for the Tigers. So I know for myself, I've got Adam Fanua-Blake there as my only active front rower because of all these injuries. Tino Fasuamalawi, Keon Klamatangi, these sorts of blokes. A lot of people running short. Payne Haas, the obvious replacement at 700k with a break-even of 132. He's averaging 86 points this season. Not entirely cut and dry, though. So he missed last week due to illness. So we'll see how he comes back this week from that illness and if he's rushed back or how he's going. But the other thing is he limped from the field before that. We know he's been carrying some niggles. Is it a case of if you need a front row, you just get Payne Haas this week, or is it not that simple?
We're asking the right person, boys. In addition to Royce Hunt being out also, double whammy. I don't have a front rower and I don't own Payne Haas. So
You down one?
Just down one. I got Aaron Clark there.
I'm in the same boat.
I swung up. So given how many other injuries I've currently got, I can nearly run a free bloody AE on my front row though and do like a free VC as well. So the question is indeed Payne Haas, to Haas or not. I think typically speaking, I'd like to check 1 week just to make sure he's healthy. His minutes and output have been down. We know he's a freak of all freaks. What a gun. But if he's not healthy, that's not necessarily going to help you. And I've only got 4 trades left. So my tendency is I'm also reasonably short in the forwards now. Holding Tino. Got Jermaine McEwen in there as well, who did really well for me the other week, but he's not someone I necessarily want to rely on. So getting Haas now, it's more than a 1 week play. It also solidifies my front row and back row stocks with Jules for the run home, which is pretty handy. But if he then gets hurt or, gets more hurt and he's gone, it's going to be an absolute waste. So
Can you do it in one trade?
yeah. I've got about $400 kajillion.
And you'd trade an injured player to him?
Yeah, Keon Klamatangi.
Because I'm in a not as good a boat. I've got 6 trades left, so that's all good. I can't do it in one trade, though. I've got Tino there, who would be my obvious trade. I've got Isaiah Yeo, but both I can't do in one hit. And also Yeo, we believe, is back next week. We'll get to that shortly. I would need to do 2 trades to get it, which is fine in the sense that if I do another cash-generating trade elsewhere, that's just going to free up for a move to a CT double, whoever it might be the following week. But I think if you can do Payne Haas in one trade, you just do it. I think if it's 2 trades, that's where it becomes a little bit more problematic.
If I was using 2 on Haas, I wouldn't be doing this. Not this week. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
I'd want to just check he's all right if I'm using 2 of my last 4.
And also, it's the Storm who, look, they're not powerhouse middles, but they are good defensively, for what it's worth, down in Melbourne. It's not a breeze of a matchup. It's a tricky one. I also have the option to just run without a front rower this week, and I'm the same. I think the worst player in my team is Rinakama, who had been good prior to playing in the bog last week, at least base-wise. So, yeah, I've got a few things to work out in that regard. What about for you, Dezzy? Do you have Payne Haas?
I do, yeah.
What would your advice be to us?
Yeah, you could probably wait a week against Melbourne.
Even without having a front rower, though?
Yeah, well, like Spice said, you get the free crack at the AE, the VC loophole. It's always good to have. And yeah, I think it's a good week to maybe have a VC on Nathan and have a C on maybe someone like Tedesco against the Finns. Something like that could be cheeky. It could be a way to go up the rankings. So yeah, I don't see Haas scoring more than maybe like 80 on return. If he plays well, he probably gets 50 minutes at most. So yeah, no, I wouldn't be rushing to get him. If you can get him in one trade, he's definitely still the guy to get.
Yeah,
there's no one better. Or if you don't have Aaron Clark, even he's a cheeky trade in. He's playing very well. But Haas is the guy who can score 140. We've seen him ton up 3 or 4 times this year, and they're big tons that he gets. And if he just gets one of them in the last 5 weeks, it's all over Red Rover if you don't have him.
Yeah, if Haas's back to his healthy best after a week off, absolute no-brainer.
You just get him for sure.
But as you said, if we wait a week, we can just confirm that.
Yeah.
Just to tick it off and go, all right, all good to come
And
in.
it'd be a different story. Let's say I'm also a Royce Hunt owner. If he was playing this week and he was going to be my AE, sure, he'd come in and he'd, in a perfect world, drop out as your flex anyway. But it'd be a different story. But when the worst one is hopefully like a Rinakama on my bench, I've got about 4 active on the bench this week pre-trades. The other 3 are reliable enough scorers. So I'm kind of like, maybe we can get away with it.
Could be the way. Speaking of, most weeks this year I've been like, most of my blokes over like 30, 40 going all right. One drops out. I think one of my players last weekend in that first night of the wet Saturday night, maybe Lehigh Hopper, he got like 20 odd. I'm like, at least he'll drop out. Pretty sure I had about 6 blokes in the 20s last weekend. It was an absolute shite show. But hopefully back to regularity this weekend and we can get some decent scores from our other guys.
Yeah, there was a few in there, wasn't there? Ruben Garrick, he finished with 23, lost 10 points or something. Not that
He could have dead set had a hat-trick in the first half, Gazza.
Well, the forward pass from Kohler, not a forward pass, firstly.
Yep, Teddy with one of the tackles of the year. That was unbelievable. So that's at least 2 that would, on any other day, just be walk-ins. I think there was another one he nearly scored as well, and that was only in the first half.
Anyway, speaking of the Manly Warringah Seagulls, sorry, I was about to say Manly. Jake Arthur at the Newcastle Knights now. He starts in the halves alongside Jack Cogger. Adam O'Brien just decided to change his halves up, do something a little bit different and then go for a new halves combination. See if a new combination works this time around. Bradman Best, he does return at centre. Isaiah Yeo, my Dezzy, you and I, great trading bust last week. Busted another bloke.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable. But, yeah, hopefully he's only out a week. I really like IPAP, actually, as a replacement. I think you could... If he gets the minutes, he looked back to his best finally after like 2 years last week. He had like 5 or 6 tackle busts. He's making tackles. He broke the line. So I think IPAP can fill that role pretty easy for Penrith. He can kind of, I think they'll be okay without him for a week.
Cheeky little 1 week head-to-head play. The news on Isaiah Yeo, nothing official yet, but it sounds like he's been cleared of anything too serious and they'll sort of rest him to give him every chance to recover this week. So hopefully nothing too serious in that one. Lehigh at Hopawade is out with a shoulder injury. Tommy Turbo to fullback. Tommy Talia to centre. Spy, ramifications of this one. Firstly, there's Lehigh Hopawade gone, who you own. Not ideal.
Yeah, I want him back on the left wing because that's the hot property for Manly at the moment. He didn't look great last weekend, especially at the end of the game. He was sort of probably holding that shoulder, but he just looked burnt out and tired. And I was chatting to a few people, I'm like, what's happened to Lehigh? Like that explosive brilliance that he has, and it has coincided from his head knock against the Knights about a month ago. So maybe it's just pulled something out of him confidence-wise. I'm not sure, but gee, I need him back because from next week they've got, I think they play Tigers, Finns, St George. If he can get on that left sting,
It's an incredible run.
I'd be cheering, hey. So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, pretty annoying because I would have liked to play him as a left winger.
And Dezzy, you're the resident Manly fan on the panel. Tommy Turbo at fullback. I don't think he would do this week due to the tough matchup down in the capital, but the soft run home, if he looks all right this week.
Yeah, you could, I guess. He's looking better and better by the week, but he's still just not the Turbo of old. And there's just guys that are ahead of him. The three big three is still just scoring well. They had a down week this week, but Drinkwater is just playing way too well to drop. That 30 is just an anomaly. You're not going away from Tedesco either. I guess Pappenhausen and he's probably going to come good, I'd say. Once Harry and Monster get it clicking, and Wishy as well. I think Wishart, very good trade in. I'm looking at him, but yeah, I just wouldn't touch Turbo. There's just too many in front of him.
Yeah, if you're low on trades, it's not worth the risk. If he goes down to Canberra this weekend, though, and scores really well, and more importantly, looks good, gee, there's a player there for the run home. Dylan Edwards worth a lot of money, obviously not goal kicking with Cleary back kicking, and Penrith have a brutal run home. So it's a luxury at this time of year, but let's just see what Tommy Turbo does down in Canberra this weekend. At the Dolphins, Herbie Farnworth is out. Tavita now Fahu moves to centre. Now, he's a little option there at bottom dollar. He's 198k. Didn't score well in his first 2 games on the wing, but if you're looking to free up cash elsewhere and just have a warm body in your team, in a good attacking outfit in the Dolphins, he's an option spy. You wouldn't be looking to play him each week, but at this stage of the season with all the injuries, it's better than enough.
Left centre for the Finns, good spot to be. I assume that's where he'll be playing. Unless he shifts to the right.
Avrilo's also named on the wing, so I don't know if Nafahu has spent more time on the wing or centre, but they could swap. Yeah. But either way, just anywhere on the edge.
If he lands on the left, there, as I said, you're not really looking to play him, but if you needed to, the left edge of the Finns is a good spot.
Is it a good spot, or is Herbie just making it look like a good spot?
Both. see the space Avrilo got? It was in the second half last week against the Warriors, and he walked straight through a gaping hole because they just create so much space.
Yep. Nicarima and Isaiah Katoa, they just good place to be on the edge at the Dolphins with those two.
Yep, happy to be there. But yeah, good downgrade option if you need it. Anyone with Herbie doesn't need a downgrade option because we have 900,000 to play with.
Silver lining.
Yeah, except you'll find, we'll talk about it now, but with Herbie, I immediately had a look and went, there's not many blokes that you really want. There's 2 we'll speak about. And then anyone low on trades doesn't really have the luxury to free up that cash and do a big upgrade elsewhere. So it's coming a sticky time for owners, but good for you two, Jokers.
About time.
I will not be complaining about anything this week because I was kissed on the backside with that one. Sandon Smith named on the extended bench on return from a head knock for the Roosters. Good news for those who still have Sandon there and don't want him dropping too much money at the moment. Lockie Galvin has been named despite an injury concern to play for the Doggies. Jacob Laban out for the Warriors. I believe he's gone for the season. James Fisher-Harris named on the extended bench. Still no Wade Egan to be seen, and Chanel Harris-Tavita returns for the one side that owns him, and that is the Spy.
I might need him this week. We'll see what happens.
He could come in very handy on the run home for you. Good draw.
He's been phenomenal for me, so we'll see. I don't have to play him this week, but in the coming weeks, if things get dire, get him in.
Phil Sammy is out for the Titans. Khan Pereira comes in on the wing. Cheese, Brandon Smith on the bench for the Bunnies. Latrell Mitchell on the extended. Topic for today's show, the major topic, I should say, the run-home point of difference players with a bit of a focus on the CT dub position. So what we can do here, boys, we're going to look at the sub 20% owned players among the top 10% overall ranked Supercoaches. We're going to look at ones from basically any position and then have a bit of a look at CT dub as well. Who wants to kick us off, Dezzy or Spide?
Dezzy, get into it, mate. I've been crook. You can lead the show.
I think it's hard to look past Tomoko right now. I think he's playing exceptionally well. He's busting tackles like no tomorrow. They might put an absolute score on Manly. Manly just, I don't know, they look shot to me. I went out to the game and it wasn't pretty viewing. So I think Tomoko, he's 666k, the Devil's number. Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing in Supercoach. I think so I think he's probably top of the list right now, and then fallen guns like Marzu as well. I think Marzu could come good. His base is still there. Brian To'o as well is another one. Marzu and To'o, they just haven't been at their best this season. They haven't scored enough tries. The base is still there, but they're the guys that are capable of getting that big 140 score, which really not many people can do, and you just need to jag one of them. And in head-to-head finals, it could be the decisive factor, getting someone like To'o into your team, go against the grain when everyone sort of swings one way. They'll be looking at, probably maybe Sharks players. Sharks have a pretty solid draw, so maybe fading the Sharks wingers for, someone with a tougher draw. The Panthers draw was not great, but Bizza could still go very well in all of those games.
Yeah, the one with Bizza, I had him penciled into my team post-Origin for a fair while as a pod at a good price as well. He just hasn't looked 100% fit since Origin. That being said, for really soft matchups, Ivan Cleary played him. That suggests to me, including the game after he limped off injured and didn't play the last 20 minutes, suggests to me that they're pretty confident in him and that he'd be okay. And then what they're doing, Penrith, and this blows my mind, but They're scoring, I think it's something like 52% of tries down their left edge. That's Jenkins and McLean. The right edge, which Cleary, predominantly sits on with Dylan Edwards plays down that edge, Isaac Tungo, Brian Toe. They've scored like 28% of their tries this year, so it's all going down the left. But, anyone else, mate, or all good?
Those are the kind of the top guys I've been eyeing off. I already have Marzu, so I'm hoping he pulls through for me.
34 in base per game, Matty Timoko. Not too much bad in him. He has 6 scores of sub 50 this season, 12 of sub 60, which isn't bad, but just at 666k, the draw's good. They have a bye next week. He's never been overly relevant, but I do know that he was playing through a little bit of an injury niggle, I think, last year, which maybe disrupted him a little bit, and the Raiders are firing. So, again, the game on the weekend where he turned up in dreadful conditions. I was at that game in the Illawarra. Absolutely horrific. Spy, what have you found for us?
He makes for a good game of footy, Tim McKay. He either lets trials in or scores them, or both. It's just all happening down his edge.
Coach.
Oh, fantastic. All right, I'll go straight to my super pod. It's one of my genuine boys, owned by 4 people in the top 1%. I just had a look at the top 1%.
I already know who this is going to be, and you have a lot of boys.
Have a crack.
Sam Walker.
No.
Oh.
Tane Tuapiki.
Tane Tuapicky's one of your boys. Since when has he been one of your boys?
He was in my side last year. Love Tane.
What?
I had to drop him once. Who came back? He kept getting knocked out.
Pre-chance.
Probably, yeah. I had Tane in my side. I love him.
Oh, my God.
So watch out for Tane.
What numbers is he? Because we've been through your top 5 earlier this season. He didn't get a look in.
I'll do an end-of-season review. Oh, no, he's not in the top 5.
But he
hasn't played enough. But he's one to watch out.
Oh.
CBA, if you will.
All right. Talk to
Tane
us.
Tuapiki playing fullback at the moment. Tell me if I've missed anything here. I've been crook, so my mind is a little bit scattered today, but Chance is playing centres. Excuse me.
Stick with the spite.
Chance is playing centres. Tane's at fullback. He offers a ball-playing threat, a running threat. He has a massive base. I sort of calculated he'll probably score 45, 50 most weeks in runs and tackle bus. Loves an offload. But I just think he's a hell of a player. Now, the kicker is, you don't want him this week because they play the Bulldogs. If he's named against St George next week, they go St George, Gold Coast, Parramatta, Manly for the last month of footy. If he's playing fullback for the Wars, I just think he could be a sneaky one. Available at centre, also available at fullback, 510k. My caveat on him is, my God, he can get a head knock. He's a little fella. He's tiny. I think I love little ball runners and like cheeky little fellas.
Yeah.
And he's one of those, but always goes off. I remember when I owned him, I was playing him early last year and he just can always find his way to a head knock. But last 3 games since he's gone to fullback, 104. He then got 29 with a head knock. He played 64 minutes against the Knights, who I never would play a bloke like him against.
Yeah.
85 against the Dolphins on the weekend. He is super pod territory. You're playing with fire in terms of he could get dropped, he could get a head knock, but I tell you what, the upside is real. Just for one of those that like to go really outside the box and have a crack. So
his last, as you said earlier, his last 3 games have been at fullback at NRL level. Tackle bus, 6, 3 and 10. Outstanding. What else he had there? A few offloads. Runs-wise, he had 20, 11 and 16.
And that middle game, he
went
went off for 15 in that middle game, which always throws you, always scatters you.
All right.
So just a little, I'm going straight for a super pod here. I haven't gone for my absolute, obvious dudes.
As you said, Dragons, Titans, Eels, Seagulls on the run home. It's 2 games at Mount Smart.
Yep. And I'll check what time they are on the weather, but he's a bloke I could get around, especially if you're looking to win a head-to-head match, next week, and you just need someone different.
Very interesting.
Do a job. Got plenty more where that came from, but not as super potty. Do you want me to go for another one?
Yeah, talk to us.
All right, let's go a bit more obvious now. Actually, this is still pretty super pod territory. Alex Johnson, 1.1%. Latrell named on extended bench. Their run's pretty good as well, I think. I've got it down in front of me here, but Alex Johnson, left edge. I'd need Latrell back. That's key.
100%.
But if he plays, or if you can wait a week, maybe Alex Johnson chasing that try scoring record. His work rate does seem to be up a bit this year, running a little bit more power in his game. So he's just that one that, he's the kind of bloke he could on any given run go 100, 100, 100. Or he could go 20, 20, 20. But these are the things, right? You don't always... The reason people are pods is because they're not getting you the 50 or 60.
There's a reason why.
They're risky, but they've got upside. So Alex Johnson's another one available in the centres there. Philip Sammy would have been nearly my player of the week if he didn't get ruled out.
Isn't Sammy just the one who, every time he should be becoming Supercoach relevant, something happens?
Yeah, he's now on that left edge and then he's missing this week. Bugger, because I nearly would have brought him in, honestly, with his work rate and runs. But if you can wait till next week, he'll be back, one to look at. But the bloke inside him, Bo Firma, he's still under 20% ownership. He's a bloody good player, super reliable. He's run some good lines off foreign. I think a try's coming, and he's got a work rate. So if you want a really good, reliable centre to plug in for the head-to-head finals of the run home, Bo Firma does tick some boxes there.
Very nice, mate. For myself, Sammy Walker. He's just he's returned from that long-term ACL injury with a 72-point average. The first game back from injury was that game against the Dragons. He played 70 minutes because he had a sin bin and scored 50 in that one. He's got a 3-round average of, 80 points per game. They're in games against Manly in horrific conditions in the rain, the Storm and the Sharks. Run home, it's mixed, but
3 of 5 I like.
3 of 5, excellent. Dolphins at Suncorp, fine. Doggies in Sydney, that's tough. Eels, obviously Sydney, that's great. Storm down in Melbourne, don't love that. And then Bunnies round 27. I would love to keep a trade up my sleeve for that round 27 game because Sammy could explode. That could also be the Roosters playing for a top 8 spot as well.
Be massive against the hatred of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They'll probably bring everyone back for that match, and I cannot wait.
If they've got anyone left.
Yeah. Who are you dropping for Sam Walker, though, realistically?
In round, I've got Scott Drinkwater at fullback, so I can drop him in flex.
So one would be your flex spot. But
You're going to drop Drinky?
He doesn't play around 27. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about around 27 play. But no, even in the meantime, I think there's a play there. I think...
You'd have him over one of the fullbacks. You're not going to have him over...
Round 27, Dezzy. I'm not trading one of my fullbacks yet. Also, we're talking super pods here, mate.
Yeah,
Dylan Edwards, he mentioned before, comes into a very tough run. Nathan Cleary does. Let me ask you, Nathan Cleary?
I think Penrith will step up into that tough run.
You think you just
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, fair chance.
That's why I'm just gonna. I think I'm gonna load up on him. I want Cleary, Yo, To'o. I want them all. Even Blaze Talungi, Smokey as well. That you could slide into centre wing or 5'8".
I do like Blaze, but yeah, I'll go against you, which is very like us, and let's see if the tough run can nullify them a bit.
They have to make the top 4.
I'll tell you the other thing. Isaiah Yo, if he does miss some time, I'm really keen to see how this Penrith side perform because he hasn't missed much action for the Panthers. He's played 20-plus games basically every single year.
Fascinating watch.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating
Supercoach aside, but could have a massive impact. But yeah, the Panthers, Knights in Newey this weekend, trickier than it looks. Storm, Raiders, Doggies, then round 27. If there's nothing on the line there, which is every chance, they could easily rest as well. Run. So it's bloody tough.
And the other thing I say about Penrith, I'm with you, Des, they probably do make the top 4, but it might be through 12-10 victories. You just don't know. They're always an interesting one, the Panthers, especially this year on the back of obviously 4 straight.
Yeah.
So it just feels like Nathan's coming into his own finally.
He looks good.
Well, I mean, I'm not trading Cleary anytime soon.
Yeah, but I think he'll be able to control the team without Yo there. I don't think he'll have a problem with.
I was going to drop this in Spy Talk, but I'll say it now. Cleary, and you probably... I don't listen to podcasts during the week, so I'll probably steal stuff off Tim inadvertently, but did you speak about Cleary sweeping out the back at second receiver for that match-winning try on the Bloke podcast? Because he totally swapped his role against the Titans. He was playing in tight, and then when the game was on the line in Golden Point, he ran his first left-edge sweep at second receiver of nearly the whole year and put someone straight through and they scored. I'm like, do that every week, mate. You're so good at it.
Yeah, we ran a bit of overtime with that game. We had to cut it to an hour and a half so we didn't have time to get to it.
Yeah, what I meant was I didn't want to think I'm stealing your lines. I don't actually get a chance to listen on a Monday, so I come in pretty fresh Tuesday. Yeah.
But yeah, so there are a couple, one for me. The other ones there, Ronaldo Mulitalo, especially one to week head-to-head plays. Ronaldo Mulitalo has a great matchup with the Dragons this week. Brian Kelly, that awesome matchup with the Bunnies as well. He's been a bit of a gun of the past and gets a good matchup there. But boys, AJ Brimson is my last one. I don't love it as an overall play for the run home as such, but I do really like it as a short-term sort of 2-week play. So 3 of their final 5 games, the Titans are on the Gold Coast. They also only leave Queensland once, which is next week in Cronulla. A very good 1-week play. What have I got here? What am I on the note? Sorry, I've got my knickers in a knot.
Were you going to say something about Keanu Kinney by chance?
No, I wasn't.
Because they reckon he was close to playing this weekend. And by they, I mean someone said it. So I don't know if
probably
that's
Guru trying to get him back for his draft side.
I'll give you our WhatsApp chat a shout out. There's certain people on there, they're nearly always right. And I've got them in my head and I go, that's probably going to happen then. And it tends to happen.
So this one's from Maxie Bryden or Pardvid. Anyway, so the Bunnies, they've given up more tons than any other side this year with opposing fullbacks averaging 108 points against them in the last 6 games. This one is my stat. AJ Brimson averaging 63 points for the season. His 9 games at fullback, though, he's averaging 71.9. 5 of those 9 games were against top 8 sides. Available as dual 5'8 CT dub, 624k. Sorry, I take that back what I said before about the only a 1 week play for head-to-head. The run home's pretty good. Sharkies next week tougher, but they can also leak. I wasn't that keen about it, but I can see why. What I would say is if you're low on injury, on trades, the man can just find an injury like no other. So I would avoid, but if you've got a few trades in the bank spot, I don't mind the Brimo play.
Best I've seen him play for a long time last weekend. Actually, after I revved him up to you the weekend before, he must have read he's on our chat. He's just reading in because he was awesome. This Kinney chat worries me. I don't know. It seems like the Titans, and it makes sense if they got some guys coming back healthy, might want to end the year on a high, then go away and come back with a bit of confidence. So that would shift Brimo to the centres, which would be a blow. You get him at fullback this week, so that's huge.
Yeah, especially, in that sense, head-to-head players, still got to worry about the rest of finals, but if you got trades as a head-to-head player...
And if he's a bloke that you're not necessarily having to play in coming weeks, if he goes to centre, he may not. He might stay at fullback. Then, he's a real upside player this weekend in particular.
Alrighty, guys, the great Paddy Johnson, the man leading the charge at Mortgage Choice SCW. He's been out and about with the SC Playbook faithful lately. He was out at the Doggies and Manly game a few weeks back with referrals from SC Playbook. Doggies fans at that, so they got the bragging rights on the day. He also mentioned to me that a heap of our listeners have been kicking financial goals in recent months, with a number of the Playbook faithfuls settling in on their first home purchases in recent months. The message you wanted to pass on, though, is that it's not all about numbers. You can talk some footy, talk some Supercoach, and make the whole process of navigating your way into the market a lot less intense of an experience. The market's going to heat up even more with spring rapidly approaching, so now's the perfect time to get in touch with Paddy and the team and see what your numbers can do for you. Normally, that'd cost you $129, but if you mention SC Playbook when you reach out, it's completely free of charge. Flick the team a message on Instagram at mortgagechoice_SCW or give them a buzz on 02 9521 1611, wherever you are based in Australia. Spy Talk, things you may have missed.
Things I may have missed this weekend. I was actually on a roll because I was, as I said, homesick with the family. Then I hit the wall, but then I came back. Now I've hit the wall again. It's all happening.
Stick with us, mate. You're doing
around Marky Nwanga Nitawase. Copping some flack lately. I've unfortunately had to play him due to injuries because the last 3 games were the matches where I wouldn't have played him on the run home, but unfortunately was forced into it. In saying that, he scored 45 in that rain on Saturday night. Shout out to him. That was probably my second highest score of the week.
He's running. They're just
he's having
shit
a crack.
Runs he's having to take.
But we've got to dive in a little bit of why he's not seeing much action at the moment. If we go the last 4 weeks after the Tigers match, the SC Playbook afternoon when he looked phenomenal, the week after he played St George, I was expecting him to rip them to pieces. I was like, this is awesome. Like, absolute no-brainer play, VC option. They ended up peppering the other edge. I've spoken about this in previous weeks. So that's one where you go, bugger, didn't go our way. Wingers sometimes just don't see the action depending on the game plan. But the 3 weeks since then, Cronulla Sharks, best defence in the whole comp to opposing right wingers, was never going to score well. He got 30-odd. They then played Melbourne. Melbourne are awesome. When Melbourne do concede tries, it's often on their other edge, the Nick Meaney edge. So I'm like, he's not going to score well there. Manly, I'm like, you beauty. Manly, this is what we're all about. We'll take on Manly and see where we go. The wettest game of footy I've ever watched, I'm like, there is no way he's scoring a try tonight. And it's just never going to happen. So we have to cut some slack here and remember that he's actually going to get some matchups coming up where it's hopefully going to be dry. And the halves are a bit more stable now with Savala back. And it's actually on an edge they're going to go to. There's 3 of them 4 matches. I'm like, then it's not going to go to him. Like, it's just not going to happen. But it's going to open up again soon. 3 of the 5 on the run home for us marquee holders could hopefully pay dividends. So hopefully starting this weekend. Yeah,
I've ended up having a relatively decent run with Marky Mark as a result of, again, I've sat him the last 2 weeks. I played him the week before that. for the reasons that you mentioned, and he just hasn't had it. But they said there are a few matchups there that are good. If the Bunnies continue to get hit by injuries as they have, like we'll see if Latrell's available and who is and who isn't. But like that game has like a Mark Nwanganitawaze 140 on it sort of thing. So
it's got one coming.
Yeah, he's got one in there coming. And there are two, I think we mentioned before, with Sammy Walker's draw. But there's a couple of tough games. Sit him for those, play him for the softer.
Yeah. Admittedly, Sammy Walker has come back on the opposite edge, which isn't helping him, but it's not just that. Like, it's not just, yes, it's coincided, but that could be a little bit coincidence as well. So we'll see what happens there. Lehigh Hopewadi not playing this week, I mentioned, but left wing. Anyone like me who's got Lehigh, hold on tight, because that could come in massive if he can get healthy and takes the left sting position. Saturday night at your game, Dezzy, Connor Watson ran the ball heaps. And in previous weeks, he's been going to the line and passing, a la Damien Cook. He took him on a lot. I'm like, this is where we get Supercoach points from Connor. Talk was he was quite crook leading into that game and may not have played. That's why he came off the bench, but he scored. That was actually one of the highlights, 64 in 50-odd minutes. Expecting a big run home from Watson. I think he owes owners a bit of action. I think it's hopefully coming. So Connor Watson, get that head down, take him on, son. And finally, Scotty Drinkwater. Jackson Purdue in the halves on the weekend with Jake Clifford out. It's a disaster for Drinky. He plays really tight. And it's like almost Drinkwater actually plays in the halves a little bit and Purdue plays almost that fullback role. Drinky just doesn't get the touches in the positions he needs with Purdue in the halves. He also didn't goal kick, which is a massive concern.
What happened there?
I assume he's got a niggle.
Yeah, because
Labert's just
like
gone.
when Clifford's been there, they've kind of shared it, but Labert kicked.
And he nailed him.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Not
that's
ideal.
not good. So just keep an eye out on Drinky's goal kicking. He's got Para this weekend, but a lot of us aren't going to have the luxury to do much, even if things don't fall his way. Hopefully he'll come back to his best and he can still score well.
Just going through,
yeah.
this is straight off the bat, and Jackson Purdue, certainly not his fault, but games playing in the halves this year. Lost. Beat the Tigers 32-28. Lost. He won one game there at 5'8", like.
Beat the Tigers by 4 in Townsville.
Yeah, like why?
I think, Clifford got hurt, so they might have been like...
He's been named the last 2 weeks, Clifford, and then hasn't played. But even before that, like they were playing him over Clifford. Again, this is not on Jackson Purdue.
Probably just thinking long term.
Yeah.
They want to get him rolling for future years. But
Well, it's not helping Drinky out, so...
yeah, can you sort that out? Because we need Drinky.
Yeah. Anyway. Hot topics, boys. Just a few to get through here. Number 3 most traded in player this week. Dane Gagai, 688k with a negative 17 break even. Dezzy Creek. Fullback, he has sizzled. And shout out to Maxi Bryden. He pulled a very rushed move when he heard he was going to spend time at fullback for that game. Might have been against the Raiders or someone. Pulled the trigger. He's absolutely sizzled. He has a 3-round average of about 98 against top 4 teams leading into that bye of the night. 3-round average of 96, I should say, against the Raiders away, Warriors in Newcastle, Storm in Newcastle. What are your thoughts?
Well, this is just one that should have been obvious in hindsight. Like his game is just super conducive. It's Joey Manu-esque. He can get his hands on the ball more at fullback and bust tackles, and he's not afraid to throw that last pass either. He's been setting a few tries up.
How good's his ball playing been?
It's exceptional. Like I didn't expect this much from Gagai, but yeah, he's borderline must have. He would be my number 1 trade target. If I owned Herbie down to Gagai, I have him definite number 1.
Ahead of... most people own Lomax and Kiraz now. Would you put him ahead of those guys?
Not ahead of Lomax and Kiraz,
Yeah.
no. But I'd have him ahead of Garrick now, possibly. Yeah, I think he's quite clear top 3 now.
Spite?
I'd put him over Kiraz just at the moment because Kiraz, the whole team without Connor Tracy, it's just a new dynamic with a new spine there. But the Doggies have the Warriors, the Roosters, who can be quite leaky, but Penrith, Melbourne and Sharkies the last 3 weeks. So, I mean, there's a chance to go against Jacob Kiraz, especially if he's still spending time at
I wouldn't
fullback.
go against him.
Well, if you're choosing him or...
Yeah, I guess if... Yeah.
him or Gagai, that was the question.
Is Kalen Ponga coming back or not?
No, he's gone for the year.
Gone. Okay.
So he's set in, but like Kiraz has
Fletcher Sharp
played
season?
Yep, season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's
but
locked in there.
Kiraz doesn't have his normal right wing spot outside Connor and Co and Crichton at the moment. So with that run, maybe. I'm getting Gagai. Yeah, he's only just over 20% as of when I last looked.
Yeah.
Huge opportunity. I know Maxi Bryden's got him, but also I still got to think overall.
Yeah.
80% of people don't. So I'll get him in. I'll run Maxi down another way.
Yeah. Cannot fault the trade at all. Next up on the list, we've spoken about a few of them actually. We've spoken about most of them. Boys, we touched on him, I mentioned him in my pods, but number 9 most traded in, a Clementine Cassidy special. Ronaldo Mulitalo, 526k, 59-point average, back-to-back 90s, and negative 10 break-even. Dezzy, you mentioned the Sharkies' edges as matchups in coming weeks. Ronaldo Mulitalo, where is he here? He has... So games coming up against the Dragons, into the Titans, into a bye, then he goes Knights at Shark Park, into the Doggies. Thoughts?
It's extremely enticing, that matchup. But, yeah, Mulitalo is almost like it's like catching knives with him. He could produce 100 against Melbourne and 20 against the Titans. He's that sort of player.
Did you just make up a saying? Catching knives?
Catching knives. I think that's a saying, so
it is now.
Is that referring to like it's fun if you catch it on the right end, but if it's not?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Is that what you're going for?
Yes.
It's either all time.
I can't believe how have you not heard this expression?
I haven't heard
it. I think it's a tough one. 2 90s in a row. He's due a down game almost. He's not the sort of guy who's gonna do it for you again and again and again. There's going to be a 20 thrown in there, maybe even 2. So, yeah, if you can time it well, it's definitely the head-to-head play. And also Katoa on the other edge as well. He's the forgotten man. He can go just as well as Mulitalo can if they start going right.
When I bumbled over Brimson around the head-to-head v overall play, it was Mulitalo that I was thinking of. I think he's a good 2-week head-to-head play because of Dragons into Titans. Overall, though, I just think it goes into bye, into the Knights, which, look, the Knights are still losing troops, so I don't mind that matchup. But then into the Doggies, I don't like as much overall, but Spy, head-to-head, it's a very good 2-week play.
If you're concentrating on these 2 weeks, needing to win head-to-head, love it.
Yeah.
Be aware he's just come off a decimated South and the Cowboys, who are arguably the worst defensive side in a long time. He got a couple of 90s, or you'd hope he did. In those games. So for the next 2 weeks, I like it. He could still let you down, be aware of that. But long term, I want a bloke with more than 2 out of 5 good matchups. So
put it this way, if you've got the extra 160k and you're trading Herbie, which I assume most would, you go Dane Gagai. Certainly looks like a and just one on the most sold list, boys, number 7, Terrell May.
Yeah.
Look, it's obviously a head-to-head play, and it's head-to-head players with trades in the bank, and they need a front row this week, and they're flipping him out. But there's got to be a better way, doesn't there, Spy?
You'd hope so, because
May,
you're going to want him for the last month. If you're trying to win your head-to-head comp,
you'll need him the next 2 weeks.
If you've got a heap of trades, head-to-head, and you know you can get him back, no dramas. Happy days, but that's the only...
Surely there's better matchups you can get than having to sell Terrell and getting back, though, but...
Yeah, I mean, people would have like 12, 13 trades, save for head-to-head finals, in which case go for gold.
And boost and whatnot.
Happy days, but that's the only reason.
Anyway. Alrighty, guys, fantasy rugby league betting is here thanks to our mates over at BetBuzz. There will be key stat areas such as points scored, try assists, line breaks, tackle breaks, and offloads. We've tried to essentially simulate NRL Fantasy, NRL Supercoach. You can multi them together as well. So they pin key players together in each position. For example, Cleary v Hines v Fogarty versus Katoa. Simply back the player you think will score the most fantasy points to cash in. As I said, you can multi them up. So you can go Cleary to be the top scoring in the halfback position into, say, Stephen Crichton to the best scoring at centre. I'm previewing these markets later on each of the week and posting them on our social media channels. To check them out, guys, and follow our bets, head to the link in the show description or across our social channels later in the week. Find BetBuzz in the App Store. What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Spy. Sort of touched on it a bit, but trade plans for the week.
I'll give my scenario, boys. I've got 4 trades in the bank. I can run a side without trading, which would include a Jermaine McEwen, who's coming off, he pumps out 50. He's actually got some good attack in him, Jermaine McEwen, but they do play Penrith. Or I could play Chanel Harris to
Will he be running at Blaze Tulungi?
No, but Cleary's their weak point at the moment. See, last week, missed 9 tackles.
Yeah, I know.
Down that edge, and what'd you say, Dezzy, 7 the week before?
16 tackles in 2 weeks.
I don't know if he's just got a little niggle, not moving well laterally or
Blaze
something.
is a
but
dream matchup, though.
yeah, but no, he's not.
Anyway.
He's running at Cleary. So the scenario would be, let's just say I played McEwen. I could use no trades. Keep 4 up the bank, get a free AE, a free vice captain, all the rest.
Oh, and just play McEwen.
Oh, just like in my side.
So you're not down a man if you play McEwen?
I'm not sure. Well, I'm just in the front row.
Okay.
Just no trades means I would be playing a McEwen type.
And
as
taking
my,
an AE.
as my last man, yeah.
Oh, I've got you. Yeah.
Sorry,
Roger.
didn't explain that very well. Conversely, I can bring in Payne Haas. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't necessarily need to play... Oh, I would still need to play McEwen or Harris Tavita unless I also get Gagai. So I think I'm just going to get Haas and Gagai. Or do I just get one of them? I'd prefer to own Gagai at the moment, healthy and firing, which would leave my decision around Payne Haas. Sort of where I'm at now is a little bit complex, but
Who do you trade out for Haas and Gagai?
Oh, Kalamatangi and Herbie, they're both gone for the year. So I think I'm just going to solidify, but it only leaves me 2 trades, which I don't love.
You know, what I will say is, and look, I do sort of try and hoard a few trades and play for depth and all that, but if you're trading out top dollar guns, if you're trading out warm bodies, for example, in my scenario, I can go Zach Hosking to Payne Haas in 1 hit. I don't feel good about it because of my focus on depth in my squad. I'm just like Hosking. Like I think Hosking is going to start, and he already started on the weekend to drop minutes. Matty Nicholson, he's due back next week. He may even come back through Cup this week. Simi Sasangi's on the bench. He's taking minutes off Hosking. So if there wasn't all these injuries and impacted trades, I would happily sell Hosking. But because he's a warm body and he still gets decent minutes and he still scores well enough with a good draw, I kind of want to hold him. But because you're selling players who aren't coming back this season, they're already doing nothing for you, and you're getting 2 guns in, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm sort of leaning that way. I think I'm definitely going to get Gagai in. It's like what he does.
Then add Payne Haas and don't have to take an AE.
And just be good to go. So I quite like that.
And like lots of people say with, you know, the AE and the flex position and all that, oh, you know, your AE just comes in and drops out anyway. But how often is it that we don't see one starting player score sub 25 or 20 or something anyway, and then you have 2 nightmares? Like,
well, 18 weeks in a row for me, I didn't need it until 2 weeks ago, and they flunked both times.
that's a miracle.
Just when you need them,
yeah.
I didn't do the job.
Yeah.
But and
Anyway.
my final question would be, do I then play Tommy Starling, who I love, but he's got that Owen Paddy factor just lurking around him, so you never know when he's going to go off the field? Or do I play Jermaine McEwen? Sort of tempted to give McEwen 70, 80-minute roll.
My only concern
chance
is
for meat pie.
My only concern with McEwen is, so what? He played 66 minutes the game prior to the bye. That was against the Raiders. Their bench had a lot of edge back rows on it. So look, I haven't had a super close look at him, but they've got like Thomas Cant's one of them. I'm just trying to find him. So they've got Thomas Cant, edge. Croker will play through the middle. Frizzell has been playing through the middle, but we know he can play through the edge. I don't know what Elijah plays. I'll have a look. But there's just, if we knew he was getting 80, yeah, you just play him. But
yeah, there's interesting on there. But that's where I'm at, boys. So I think at this stage I'll probably make both trades. I do have a little tendency to maybe have a look at Haas this weekend though. Just make sure he tick that box to run home.
So, apologies in advance for pronunciation. Elijah Salesa Luamoana, second rower. So I just...
That's what we don't like to see.
No, it's not what you wanted. It's not what you wanted. Anyway, Dezzy, what do you have for yourself, mate?
Well, like I said, I'm kind of just with 2 trades left. It's all head-to-head focus now. I've kind of given up on overall slightly. So yeah, I've got Galvin sitting in 5/8. Yeah, he's been named, but it's a bit of an iffy one. He didn't look fantastic. Neither did Kickout for that matter. If I was going to, I'd go for someone like Tyron Wishart. We haven't spoke about him, but I think Melbourne have a bad draw, but like that's the play. That's the differential. Bring in players who have bad draws. That's going against the grain at this time of year. And Wishart, he just looks like he's about to latch onto something with Harry cooking in the rock. He's super speedy. He scores a ton of tries. And I think, Melbourne should finish strong, much like Penrith. I think they'll really try and bulldoze teams in the last month.
If you're in a position to do it like at 5'8", like I don't mind the wishy play at all. And the thing about him, Dezzy, tough draw, he's got a good floor. He runs the ball.
Yeah.
He gets to a lot of tackles, so he busts tackles. And you're right, he's had bugger all attack this year. Even in the last 2 weeks, 40 and 44, very little attack to his name. So get some dry conditions. I don't mind it.
Yeah, it is. It's a terrible draw. Broncos, Penrith, Bulldogs, Roosters, Broncos, but Storm could still just blitz up. They have a 20-minute period where they just absolutely dice up the ruck with Pappenhausen, him, and Munster. Harry all brewing. I can just see a B score coming. I think,
And also, he's cheap. Like, you can free up cash and play him on matchup.
Yeah.
Like, for the softer ones, maybe sit him for 1 or 2.
Yeah, exactly right.
Melbourne love beating Brisbane.
Yeah.
Melbourne do love beating Brisbane.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll pull the trigger. It'll be depending on how my head-to-head matchup is going.
For myself, boys, I'm in that exact same situation as you, Spy, minus the fact that I can't do Payne Haas in one hit. So I've got a few options. I can go Zach Hosking to Payne Haas in one go, but as you said, the other thing with Hosking is there's still no Nicholson this week. If Nicholson was there, I'd be very concerned that he does play sort of 50 minutes. But there's another week where, worst case, it should be 60 minutes. If there is any injuries in the back line, Sasungi goes to centre and Hosking does get his 80. So it's a good matchup with Manly. So I don't mind him this week, even if I'm not playing him in my 18. I could go a player down to free up the extra 50-odd K that I need and then go Tino Malawi to Payne Haas, which I don't mind. But as we spoke about before, 2 trades for Payne Haas this week. I just kind of want to see what he comes back as.
Tino could be back next week as well. He might not be far away, so that's another factor. So
I'm happy. And as I said, I can potentially not trade or use one trade elsewhere and then go Cop and AE, which, as I said, my worst player is Rinakama. I've got currently not playing in my team, Rinakama, Nwanga Nitawazi, Tanner Boyd, and Zach Hosking.
Tanner versus Bulldogs, not good though.
Not good. Yeah. And they play, look, I'm not saying it's ideal, but they're 80-minute players, if nothing else.
I wish bloody Brisbane weren't playing first.
I know, it's
we could see how we were going and see if we needed
I know. Yeah. But yes, as I said, I can go Hosking to him in one hit if I would like to do that. Probably can't go the Gagai play in one hit this week. So, a few things to work out. But the other one that I can't do Tino to him in one hit by about 20 or 30K, Aaron Clark, his numbers are just outstanding. He hasn't hardly scored under 50 all season. So, I'm just short
Fisher Harris still out? Because
he's on the extended.
Okay,
yeah.
He so hasn't been going quite as well the month leading.
Even when his minutes aren't huge, though, he just works harder.
Yeah. He found a couple of small bodies on the weekend. As an owner, I watched him tight, and he'll pick out a small body and go, boom, bump off. I'm like, yeah, boy, get into him.
Yeah. Anyway.
Such a good player.
So a few decisions still to make for the Stallions. Skippers this week, Spy?
I think I'm going to go VC Tedesco into skipper Jaden Campbell. I just need to have a look at this Bunnies lineup. They've got a couple of blokes back. Does make me a bit nervous, but geez, running the ball well, Jaden. I was speaking earlier in the year a little bit about Jaden wasn't always in the right positions to find his attack. He's found it now. They've sort of just worked out his best position, which is sort of one off the ruck, flat with runners around him. And he takes them on and he's bobbing up more and he just looks confident in his body at the moment. So Jaden's hard to pass up. I do like the idea of Teddy versus the Finns. He torched him at Magic Round. Herbie's out. Outside of that, I mean, Cleary's always an option, of course, but I've always backed the Knights' defence a little bit this year, so I'm happy to go against him as a VC option. If he scores 160, too good, but it's going to take a tall effort. I reckon he's going to have to play very well for that. And I don't want to keep doing the same thing, I need to get back on track and see if I can get some momentum going again.
There's so many options this week. Dezzy, what are you looking at?
Sorry, Dezzy, I'm actually in as well. I've got to remember this. My head-to-head finals start this week. I'm in one league where I did a cashy, and it's actually not a bad comp, and I finished first. So a win would give me the week off. So that would be huge as well. So I'll be doing the old-fashioned.
Bit to work out.
I'll be doing the old-fashioned who's my opponent got, maybe some late switches, maybe not if you're listening. Oh, who knows? But I quite miss that head-to-head.
Yeah,
that's the fun part of it.
It is good. Dezzy?
Oh, initially I was thinking, maybe just a VC in the first game on Ellie or even Payne Haas coming back from injury, just chuck the VC on him, see if he's just absolutely slamming anyone who doesn't
All
buy
these
him.
good matchups. We've just said, well, we don't even want to buy him this week. You're like, I might just go and pay
He could just come out and go ballistic. You never know. But I'm most likely going to go VC Cleary into C Teddy. But then now I'm looking at the Dragons and Sharks fixture. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it could be one of those times when Nico goes 150. He certainly has done it to the Dragons in the past. I believe one of his better scoring teams. He's turned up against them a lot.
I think it was that first game back from injury last year or the year before.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that I can't go VC Cleary into a C Hines, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect time to kind of make a move in the flex. But yeah, they're early in the week, all these games. So yeah, we'll just see how it plays out. But I think Nathan's probably going to be the best option for me. I just think he's too consistent.
Yep. I've currently got it on VC Nico Hines into a C on Jaden Campbell. I love everything about that matchup. Day game, hopefully dry on the Gold Coast against the Bunnies, who, even with a few players back, are just so depleted. For all the reasons Spy just mentioned before, around confidence, around Jaden Campbell, Spy, his body just worries me so much. He's had a rough run in recent years, and all things on paper look good for Jaden Campbell to go big. And, like, if the Bunnies don't show up again, it could go really big. He could, I should say. His body worries me.
He makes me a bit nervous as a captain, that's for sure.
I know.
I've spent a lot of this year just doing reliable captains and then doing the upside ones at times. Did Nico the other week for 50, and from the 1 minute into that game, I'm like, I shouldn't have done this. And he did get held up by a whisker and set up a forward pass try, so it could have been awesome, but the bloke's like, I don't think you necessarily rely on him, but the upside is there, absolutely.
Yeah, so sitting on that at the moment, but a bit to play out through the week. Still, a couple of questions before we wrap it up for the week, boys. The first one from Teabag says, Herbie to Stephen Crichton this week. Critta's caught my eye, boys. He played that hybrid fullback centre role. So Kira's played at fullback, but attacking the opposition 20. Critta was playing fullback. He set up 2 tries. Again, I know he only scored early 60s, so you see the 2 tries and question it, but you want a super pod CTW for the run home. Dezzy, I think it's Stephen Crichton. Look, it's a tough run for the doggies, but this is one of the best players in the game, and he's got the silky ball playing. He's got the role at the moment.
Yeah, normally I'd be kind of all over someone like this, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just going to go back to the tried and true guns, the fallen guns. Crichton's he's never been a Supercoach gun.
He's also never played this role.
He has,
Things have changed, much like Dane Gagai.
It's true, yeah. He could put on an absolute performance for us, but yeah, I don't know if he's got that huge upside. I just don't see him being able to score, like 140. I think his ceiling's 100. That's about the best he can score.
Spy, if the doggies had a better draw, I'd roll the dice and do it. But they go the Warriors, Roosters, Storm, Panthers, Sharks. It's brutal, and I'm just not willing to roll it with. Like, keep in mind, you also said that, Dezzy, he's also goal kicking this year. He's never had that. He's never had this ball playing hybrid role of fullback centre. The draw sucks though.
I was pretty much bringing him in till I saw that draw, and I've spoken all year how I'm not overanalyzing the draw, but bloody hell, it doesn't get much tougher than those last 3 weeks. Doggies will be fighting for that, home final, top 2, which means they're going to defend their asses off. I just think his work rate isn't quite enough to comfortably lock him in. He doesn't have many runs or tackles. He does have the opportunity to put on some points and do some goal kicking, but I just think, unfortunately, not quite on Crichton. The stars nearly aligned for him.
Nearly.
Not this year.
Connor Tracy is potentially due back in sort of 2 to 3 weeks as well, so there's that factor as well. One from Steve, is enough player one who scores just enough and is cheap, or a nothing player, cheapest downgrade who doesn't actually play to make cash? So yeah, it's not Spy.
Enough is enough who doesn't score, but just enough is someone who just scores a little bit. How's that?
That was pretty sharp.
That was way better than I thought it would come out.
Yeah, I can't believe you execute, because I saw the little light bulb go off in your head.
I could be on the up here.
You did well.
That could be my turning point for the run home. Just don't leave me. I'm
Green
done.
arrows are coming.
Done.
Well done. Next question from Ride Lambo. Are we sleeping on Roger Tuivasa check for a pod CT dub play, Dezzy? He has the draw after this week.
Yeah. I guess he's been scoring a hell of a lot of tries. Well, I don't even think he scored one last week, and he still scored about 80 points.
Yeah, ran for
absolutely insane.
I think I saw a rando stats guy put up second most running meters ever by a winger.
Yeah.
By 1 metre. I wasn't going to say anything else, but yes.
Yeah.
He looks good.
He looks good.
Yeah, RTS, he's made it into my top 5 buys of the week.
And we'll be coming up this week against... It is the better defensive edge, unfortunately, because he's on the left. Unfortunately, not the Rinikama, Tuala. They've chopped and changed, so much because of these injuries, the injury to kind of Tracy.
He's probably coming up against, is it Montoya? Is he playing
Montoya's injured.
He's hurt.
It's Tuala and Rinikama.
Tuala, sorry. Maybe his edge.
Yeah.
Not probably the edge you wanted, I reckon, with Crichton on his inside. So the run home after that. And the fact is, with tackle busts and runs, he probably just gets you to 50 anyway.
And also, if you want to wait a week or can afford to do it, 617K, break even 52 into the doggies. You can wait a week if you want Dragons next week.
And it gets hot. The Tane to a peaky Roger double.
Question from Bill Mitchell. I'm wanting to move on Corey Horsburgh. Do I go Pat Carrigan or Aaron Clark, Dezzy?
Oh, very tough one. I think you probably have to go Carrigan at this point. Clark is he's getting super highly owned in the top sort of ranks. Very consistent. Carrigan... He's got that ball playing ability to put people into gaps. He could score 80 in base as well, Carrigan. I guess Clark could as well. You're really splitting hairs with these two. I'm just going to go for the guy who's owned by less people, which is Carrigan.
Yeah, I don't think you are. I think Clark's the better buy. And you mentioned Fisher Harris may be back, but he only missed, I think, a week's by. Clark, maybe slightly less minutes, but if there's any injuries, he can play bigger as well. The Warriors also have their injury concerns. Better ball playing than Carrigan. Carrigan had that late try assist against the Bunnies, which was to Reece Walsh. It was just a free-for-all. That got him to 80.
He's still on 60 in base in a game.
In that game. 400 line breaks.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly check Aaron Clark.
I think Aaron Clark is way better than Pat Carrigan.
62, 78, 57.
I think they're absolutely splitting hairs.
3 of his last 4 scores, Clark, who I own, 3 of his last 4 scores before last weekend were 62 or under. Only just. Like they were high 50s, but then the other one, then he got 78 with a try assist. I don't think he's going as well as people think.
Yeah, it's the case of if you don't own him, you think he's gone really well.
Yep. And if you do own him, you're going, he's going well, but he's not dominating.
Yeah.
But in saying that, he's due a meat pie or he's going to score soon.
I just think he is way more chance at, because he's got the ball playing too. Not to say Carrigan's got none, but he's got, in my opinion, better ball playing at the line than Carrigan. I think he's way more chances to try. Lowest score all season, 47 in round 1. That was in Vegas. That was his only score under 50 this season. Look, Pat Carrigan's numbers will be similar because he's just a workhorse.
I think they'll score within QE of each other.
Boys, what about this as a third option? Jackson Ford.
Jacko?
I've seen a bit of Ford chat around.
We haven't spoken about him.
Let's pull him up. Let's have a look.
I think his stats are they're pretty much on par with these guys in terms of points per minute. And he's due some tries as well. He can score some tries.
Base is ridiculous.
Going very well.
He is one that it worries me. I think there's a few things that have led to inflated minutes for Jackson Ford over last month. Capewell had been playing centre, which meant Murata Niokoro played on the edge. Capewell's back to the back row now. I don't think they'll move him back to centre. If they do, happy days. Capewell back in the back row. Murata Niokoro playing in the front row now. That impacts Jackson Ford.
Yep. They
have had in-game injuries, which have impacted things a fair bit. I think his scores have been inflated. His minutes have been inflated and hence scores. On sheer numbers alone, though, Dezzy, he's firing.
I like this new segment, Dezzy Talk. Comes in late in the show and just unleashes
Dezzy's
some thoughts.
things you may have missed.
Yeah, we'll have to start this.
Yeah,
make this a thing.
I was going to say as well, we talked about, I guess we didn't really talk about hooker this week. You're a fan of Watson.
Oh, Brayley, I wish I had him.
Brayley, Grant, but there's also a fourth man who's emerged who I bought, which is Jeremy Marshall King. Mr. JMK.
That is the most bold thing ever. He played like... I love him.
He's running the ball.
They have 2 hookers though.
They do, but he played so well that they might just play him.
60 minutes and 60 minutes the last 2 weeks. Before his turn, he got 27.
Yeah. I just think he looked good.
He did, because he's a good player.
They're going to have to go through the middle probably a bit more now with, I'd say, without Herbie on the left. They're probably going to straighten up the attack a bit.
He based 43 on that ton.
Yeah.
In 60 minutes.
If you're playing 80, yes.
Harry's sort of basing the same thing. What did he get? He got 52 with a try assist. So he's basing like 30.
That's why I want Brayley. Brayley looks awesome.
Alrighty, boys. That'll do us for tonight's show. Spy, another flu pod. You've had a few in recent years, but
Kids will do that to you, but we come through again, and I'm actually feeling all right now, so that's positive.
It was the light bulb moment.
I think that's the turning point. Looking good this weekend. Load up on me if you're betting on me.
Very exciting.
Yep.
Dezzy, good to have you back, mate.
Good to be back.
You've been hitting the books a little bit while you've been gone. You were well researched tonight.
Well researched. Is that what you call it? Well, good luck, boys. Good luck in your head-to-head finals. Hopefully you bring home the Muller.
I think that was my sign-off. Done and dusted. Good luck in your head-to-head finals. Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in.